So we're going to shift our focus now to the crucial role of finance in driving these sustainability efforts. And I'm excited to introduce our next session. And it's called Financing Food Waste and Sustainability Action with Commonwealth Bank. We're privileged to have Carmel Onions, Executive Manager of Agribusiness, ESG Strategy and Carbon at Commonwealth Bank, to lead this discussion. Carmel is going to delve into how financial strategies and investments are critical in supporting and scaling up initiatives aimed at reducing food waste. Understanding the financial mechanisms and levers that can enable sustainable practices is essential for anyone looking to make a significant impact in this area. So please join me in welcoming Carmel to the stage.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carmel.
Hi, everyone. How fortunate for me to follow on from the wonderful examples of innovation. Although I must say I'm feeling a little bit inadequate that I don't have a catchy tagline, so my apologies for that. But certainly those examples are going to be excellent context for some of the messages that I'm going to share with you today. So I'd like to start, please, just by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land upon which we're meeting today, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and I pay my respects to elders both past, present and emerging. So I feel like I have one of the best jobs in the world, and certainly a lot of people tell me. I work in agriculture, in our agribusiness, where I'm extremely passionate about the sector. And I lead our work thinking about how the bank can be helping businesses, farmers and our customers transition towards net carbon zero and nature positive. I talk to customers, just flew in from the mid-north coast. Thanks, Qantas, for cancelling my flight. Didn't get to see the morning sessions. But I'm here and I work with our bankers because this is a journey for all of us, including banks. So that's my role. And in terms of the agenda today, we're talking about how we finance this transition. So I'm just going to frame the opportunity. You'll all be across it. And then speak through what's happening in finance and how these emerging trends that we're seeing around sustainable finance can support your business goals and what you're sort of working through. So just in terms of the way Commonwealth Bank is thinking about the transition and sustainability, we all know it's an enormous job to end food waste. We know that we need to reduce food waste to limit the emissions and the climate impacts, and we need to lower the impact on nature, and whether that's the pollution going into landfill or the impacts on waterways, or just making sure that we're utilising our precious natural capital, and in particular our soil, and getting the most out of it in terms of human consumption is pretty key. And we also know that we need to get more out of what we're producing. We need to get more of that supply into market and also assist with lowering the cost of food and making it as affordable as we can for everybody. So we understand that the opportunity is enormous, and we have that mindset that transition is an opportunity, and that's what I want to just sort of touch on now. So as we all know, the triple bottom line is really what the world wants us to focus on. It's not just profit. We also need to be looking after our planet and our people very, very carefully. And I love this diagram because it really just sort of shows the opportunity for me. It shows the intersection between financial outcomes and things that benefit the climate and or things that impact and improve our natural capital. And then wrapped around all of that is the good story that we can tell about our organisations as we're embracing sustainability, which is our social licence to operate. But certainly in this context of food waste discussion, you could also put in that circle outside, improving human condition and making food more affordable. So, as I said, the opportunity is enormous, and in our context, I just think of it in these sort of 6 ways. Anything that we can do to get more revenue out of our business for the same level of input cost is a win for our finances and also reduces our emissions intensity, which is our emissions per unit of production. Anything we can do to reduce the cost of disposing waste certainly has benefits for natural capital and some cost savings for our businesses. And the really big opportunity we're seeing a lot of customers exploring, as an example there, is bioenergy. So using organic waste to get businesses off-grid, reducing their scope 2 emissions from purchasing electricity, and then finding that sort of way to dispose of a waste and then sort of creating value. In a banking context, anything you can do to increase profit through solutions like we saw this morning can potentially decrease your working capital needs. So there's some opportunities for interest saving there. Again, increasing your profitability could increase your debt servicing capacity and therefore your ability to gear up and grow a bit quicker. And again, reduce some interest costs there if you choose to pay down quicker. And then lastly, just the branding opportunities. We want our businesses to be resilient and successful. And as markets are looking for evidence of sustainability, initiatives like we're hearing about at this summit certainly only improve the resilience of businesses if they can use them in their branding. So I just have been reading the sector action plans this morning and what incredible resources they are. But certainly telling your story is also really key in your banking relationship. We need to understand your business, and if we understand how you're improving your margin, improving your sustainability at the same time, then certainly that is valuable for the bank to know, and we can then tailor the way we support you and help you potentially save money in your banking relationship. We had a conference earlier this year. The CBA has an ESG sustainability conference called Momentum, and we had a session where we had some CEOs up on the stage, and they were very much just talking about how those organisations are thinking very differently when they set sustainability as a goal, and of course attracting employees into organisations that are really focused on sustainability. So a point here is just the business case. So how do we finance these opportunities? And that's really probably what you're here to hear about. The first one is there is a payback just from these solutions inherently. So the example is renewables, very simple. There's an upfront cost, but there's the payback in lower energy costs. So I think it's really important to factor in that internal payback, and again, sharing that information with your bank so that they can see how you're saving money and making your business more resilient. But what we have seen in response to this sort of triple bottom line focus is this category of finance emerged globally called sustainable finance. And Commonwealth Bank is one example of a lot of work that's going on in the banking sector to really reward, recognise and incentivise customers to invest in projects that have good environmental outcomes. That's essentially what sustainable finance is, incentivising good environmental outcomes in the loans that we provide. So we've had our CBA Agri Green Loan in market for 3 years. It's specifically for farming businesses, and the use cases are vast. But anything that reduces net emissions, particularly increasing sequestration and rebuilding natural capital, water savings, those loans are approved for those use cases. They're secured against property, and they're available to CBA customers. And they really try to, as I said, reward you for your investment. But we also have broader green business loans that we just launched this year for businesses outside of agri. We have our green asset finance, which is specifically for electrification of assets, and then we have our energy efficient equipment finance, because we do know that sometimes we can't get to electrification, particularly in agricultural contexts, but anything that improves the efficiency of the diesel usage, for example, certainly deserves a reward. So I'll just quickly step through those, and then also we have our carbon solutions, which I'll talk about separately. So this is kind of the way we summarise our green business loan suite, and the Agri Green Loan there in the bottom. And there's 7 categories of use cases, and so the ones that are sort of very applicable here That renewable energy example I spoke about with the bioenergy, but definitely the circular economy solutions at adapting products to have less impact and be more circular. The agri one there I just spoke about before, and of course the sustainable water usage as well. And so, as I said, these are secured against property, and they take a couple of sort of product forms. They're the same product, but they can only be used for a specified purpose. And in terms of the additional step in the process, it's just evidencing that those funds have been used for that purpose that's going to generate those environmental benefits. Just a quick summary for your information on the sort of green asset finance suite. These are available to all customers, CBA and non-CBA. And on the left, we have the energy efficient equipment finance I mentioned. That can actually be used for some categories of second-hand gear as well, because that's still potentially more energy efficient than some of the kit that's out there. But very much around hybrids, for example, and certainly lighting as well. And that's in the order of a 25 basis point discount, whereas our green asset finance is a 100 basis point discount. And that's very much supporting businesses as they electrify, install renewable energy, and so on. The last sort of thing I'll touch on in terms of solutions we offer is in the sort of carbon market. So there's certainly options for ending food waste to potentially be remunerated through some of the methods. We see these markets as, again, very important in helping businesses finance their transition. Remunerating you for the investments that you're making in reducing methane, for example, out of food waste. So we have dedicated carbon specialists that can support conversations with you. And we think of carbon like any other commodity. So we have all of the price risk management solutions that you might see for wheat, for example. And this is a great opportunity for banks to be innovating in this space. And one of the things we did, it's November 22 now, was we pre-financed that forward carbon income and gave it as a lump sum up front. So a lot of businesses find that really useful. They can cover the cost of the investment or pay down debt or expand their businesses, etc. So certainly carbon is a place that we're very active, and again, just trying to meet the market as these carbon markets become more mainstream. So I'm right on time. Just to leave you with a couple of other messages. We really encourage early engagement with your bank. Take your bank on your sustainability journey. Ask what's available. Sustainable finance exists for you. So find out if you're eligible and your projects are. We'd love to support you with our sustainable finance. Data is going to be critical. Banks will be one stakeholder who will also be increasingly looking for data. Supply chains will be looking for measurement and reporting. Banks will value that information as well. Tell your story, tell your good story, and find the rewards to share in the investment costs that you're going to be considering as you progress on your journey. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Carmel. Well, what a morning. We began with a deep dive into reducing waste in the horticulture section. We've explored strategic approaches to preserve and enhance the sustainability of our fruits and vegetables. Our experts shared invaluable insights on transforming practices from farm to fork. They highlighted the path towards significant environmental, social and economic benefits. Then we shifted to the ingenuity of tomorrow's solutions with Rocket Seed as finalists. I love that stuff. Showcasing cutting-edge innovations designed to tackle food waste challenges head-on. And then just now we explored the pivotal role of finance in sustainability with Carmel from CommBank, understanding how strategic investments can support and amplify all of our efforts to reduce food waste for anyone engaged in this field. So as we break for lunch, reflect on these discussions, Consider how these insights can be integrated into your own work and daily practices. It's a great opportunity, of course, to network and share ideas and prepare for the final sessions that we have planned for the afternoon. Don't forget that there's the other stage up that side. There's the posters. Do have a look at those. I'm going out to have a look at them a bit closer. Enjoy your lunch, and I look forward to seeing you back here after lunch, which I think will be in about 45. So until then, enjoy.